digital health.
All right. So I didn't really practice this pitch, but I've been doing it for many years now. So we're actually working on a fundraise now. So I'm keeping pretty busy these days. So it's been a couple of years, maybe, actually prior to the pandemic since I was last here. So this is a bit of an update, and we've gotten a lot done over the past couple of years since the pandemic.
I just want to make sure. Can you hear at the back of the room?
I'll try to
just try and
talk louder.
I don't know if the mic works. Should we just try the mic? I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Hello?
Yeah.
Is that on?
No.
Okay,
So I'll just talk louder. So I'm Randy Duguay, the CEO of HealthGauge. We've been a part of the community now since about 2015, and so we're really here to talk about a platform solution that we've created since we've started. And the other thing I want to mention is that we're actually majority owned by an entity here called AIML Innovations Incorporated, which is a publicly traded company. And so there's a few things that I won't be speaking to today that are not announced. I'm actually the CEO of both AIML Innovations as well as HealthGauge, although my role at AIML Innovations is fairly simple and straightforward. So we're a digital health services company looking to disrupt and innovate in the digital health realm, a $245 billion market internationally. But I really want to highlight in particular that our focus is in addressing how we're capturing personal health information outside the traditional health system. So I've been involved, for over 20 years now within community settings and the health system, as well as in a previous role when I was at TELUS Health Solutions. So the opportunity going forward is really to address that new means of collecting health information outside clinical settings, but also integrating and working with those settings. So when we started our company, we really wanted to understand how can we better prepare ourselves going beyond personal health record solutions or doctors' offices and how health information might be shared. You could see that the world was going to go through a massive sea change in how health information might be captured. And frankly, since 2007, when Fitbit first showed up on the scene, all that was being captured was really, really basic information, tracking information, and some other kinds of simple biometrics. You could see going from 2010 forward that there was going to be a new opportunity to collect personal health information and to engage people using sophisticated software. So we really set ourselves out in 2015 to address that. 25% of seniors receive home care today, only 6% publicly funded. Alberta, if you could check this out, Alberta is investing over $13 billion over the next few years in improving continuous and community care, homes, and seniors care. So the opportunity, and when we think of seniors, they're a lot more sophisticated and tech savvy than they used to be. Frankly, all of us or some of us are getting there sooner than we might wish. So anyways, there's a whole bunch of challenges that have been posed, and you can see our health services practitioners are getting burnt out. Doctors are leaving their professions in droves, and they're looking for new opportunities to have an ability to serve people both virtually and in person. So other things we know, so we started building a personal health monitoring and management solution, and just recognizing that if people have more understanding of their personal health in a deeper way and a better ability to engage with their healthcare professionals, which goes beyond the doctor, they will improve on their health outcomes. So we're really looking at a platform solution that includes that full loop. And while lots of companies and lots of people are talking about it, and I frankly am not a big fan of doing the PowerPoint show, I hate it, to be frank. What I'd rather show you is live demonstration of the solutions that we've built. But we actually include that full loop, an opportunity for end users to select their personal health care team, which includes their family and friends, home and community care, as well as doctors. So the solution that we've created, and I want to just highlight here, so you see a lot of things like this. We actually, we're doing prototypes in the raw data capture of electrocardiogram and digital pulse using fingers from 2015 to 17. And we actually were also innovating in the band, so looking at the radial arteries. So we did a lot of work in prototyping and analysis of raw ECG and raw digital pulse. And hardly anyone was doing that. And we were innovating in the band. We pulled back in 2017 and started working with OEMs as devices became more prevalent. But there's very few companies that do the kind of work that we do. And we secured a US patent in 2021 after 4 years of effort in the combined solution of sensors, biosignal sensors, as well as AI and machine learning-based tools. And I'll develop that idea further. We actually got a continuance on our patent. We're continuing to build that out. So we've innovated on sensors, on the raw capture of ECG, PPG for non-invasive blood pressure. So we have all of these different biometrics. We also are marketing a touch-based device. We have mobile applications, Apple and Android Bluetooth enabled, and a dashboard for professional services. And there's 2 applications I'll talk about in that area. So our company has the ability to actually access many different devices. Accessing device-centric data is not actually a big deal. What's a big deal is the ability to actually access enough solid raw personal health information, raw signals, in order to do deeper level processing and to use machine learning to do additional analysis. So we've invested quite heavily in an AI ML-based team, which is really foundational for us because we can actually extend on those data sets as we build them out. And so we have multiple clinical health initiatives now underway focusing on electrocardiogram, COPD, respiratory disease, and stress and anxiety using our solution set. And then finally, we have a solution that provides for online integration and engagement with health professionals. This is the solution example of what we call our virtual care monitoring dashboard. And so this actually is a fully interactive solution where a care provider, which could be a home and community care or somebody in a doctor's office managing chronic conditions, can actually look at different priorities based on the various biometrics here, whether it's blood pressure, temperature, sleep, activity, and we can also do internal messaging. So there's a HIPAA-compliant-based messaging platform that's built into the solution that's accessible both by a mobile application and online application. So this is a multi-user display. So you're seeing 2 people in here, so this expands and collapses. And so we're really looking to be a solution that can be applied by many service providers. So this solution could be white labeled, so it's got a lot of HealthGauge branding here. But just imagine like a QuickBooks kind of construct where we can make this display something that is really presenting as a health services provider or home and community care provider organization. So summarizing, multi-client dashboard, administrative panel, rules-based and threshold and prioritization solution, notification escalation mechanism, asynchronous messaging comments capability, and an API solution so we can integrate with any number of organizations who want to access and share data. Next solution that ties in with this is what we call HealthGauge Virtual Assist, which is a Zoom-like solution, which is also embedded within our overall application platform. So just imagine having an ability to engage people, whether it's your home and supports or other care providers. This solution here provides for both queuing-based management as well as a point-based solutions that can be scheduled at any time. We actually created the Virtual Assist solution in the latter part of last year in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and looking at how we could serve some organizations that were really wanting to provide online process. So we actually became a technology service provider and we're repurposing this as part of our overall platform solution. So summary being, it provides for improved quality of care, additional information and access for other providers, integrating that within that whole construct of HealthGauge for sharing personal health information to provide additional monitoring, support, and engagement. Target market, of course, I always look at this thing. People tell me, hey, you know what, people don't change. And I'll tell you my response to the idea that people don't change in home and healthcare is if people don't change, then Uber would never have happened. People do change, and they certainly do change when you provide a higher level of service and engagement and, frankly, outcomes. And so we have to be thinking about providing outcomes-based solutions, and certainly how it's addressing engaging people that are serving your needs. And I'm sure you all might have your own experiences about that, but we do change, certainly if we make the solution easy to access and easy to engage and to be supported by providers. So we were focusing on hypertension, stroke, heart health, metabolic syndrome, and other general trends in chronic care. Some examples. So the basic business model is devices. Not everybody's going to buy our device, but we're selling our devices for early market at $250. We also have a BMI weight scale, which is integrated into our solution, and we also have the touch-based device that's currently FDA approved. The focus is on organizations that are serving people directly. And so this is another thing that was really important to us. Is we're not trying to be the Facebook of health, digital health. We're trying to actually be the QuickBooks of digital health, where we're serving organizations that are actually serving end clients and are motivated to change and be engaged. So we have a number of partners in that area. So this is a bit of an eye chart. Maybe you want to look at this online, but I just want to talk really quickly. The main areas of milestones we've achieved on is IP patent, product applications, investment, key partner business development. In early stages, this is a really, really tough company to build. But we did secure patent. We worked about 4 years on patent, secured our USPTO-based patent, which are extending. We've got a continuance on 3 different claims, which we're building on right now. And with our MedWatch partner, which is based in San Diego, we've also been partnered and doing IP or intellectual property in non-invasive blood glucose, which is an extension of our non-invasive blood pressure solutions. So we're really starting to pick up steam here on our patent and applications. We did a credit card pocket size device, machine learning-based solution 2019, OEM partnering 2020, mobile applications, online application, virtual assistant, MedWatch partnering, which we're building out and partnering together. Investment, angel level investment, and there's one person in the room here who did some angel level investing with us. Actually prior to 2018, we did a contract with a company we spun out in Vancouver. In those 2 years, we bridged and we raised $2 million here just before the pandemic, and we're now extending that, so there'll be an announcement on that soon. And then finally, our business development is picking up. So there's 2 parts to the company. One's research and development-based initiatives. We have a number of new opportunities with the University of Alberta, Trinity Western, UBC, which we're starting to really build on, which is going to provide additional support for R&D efforts in the research. And we've been partnering now with business organizations such as MedWatch with a deal that's worth over $2 million to us right now. We licensed our software and IP to them immediately after completing our patent work. So that's all underway. This is our growth objectives, essentially to achieve about $15 to $20 million in revenues within a 3-year period, all based on our B2B and channel strategies. And just a little bit about the team. So that's myself. I used to work at TELUS for many years. Then at TELUS Health from 2002 to 12. I worked at the University of Alberta commercialization, factory rehab. Bruce Matichuk has been a community mainstay in software and AI and machine learning-based development. He's also starting his PhD coming up this year. And he's been involved in many, many startups, and we're pretty good at addressing our project management. There's more people I could describe on the team, some of them based in India. And then, of course, everybody knows Pierre Belanger, and so he's one of our advisors, a great character in the community. Dr. Jacques Capuninu, a cardiologist based in Boston, who I've known for some years as an advisor. We'll be looking for more advisors. I want to mention ST Innovations because Jonathan's here. Jonathan Butterworth is part of ST Innovations. I'm really, really pleased to see the progress they're making in the community around commercialization ties into the university. We are tapping into resources at ISAIC as well as ST Innovations and the faculties here at Health City, AMI, and then other organizations that you know. So what am I here to do today? I'm not exactly here to raise money, which is maybe odd. I did used to try to raise money in Edmonton and Alberta, but it was hard. But that's okay. But there are opportunities to engage investor interest, but now it's actually being worked through our AI/ML Innovations organization, which is continuing to raise money. And AI/ML is towards other investments beyond HealthGauge. I'm really interested in strategic channel and business engagements. I think it's incredibly important for companies like ours to innovate within Alberta by partnering, and partnering with organizations where we can show progress on those points. And Alberta has not been, as you've heard me talk to these maybe before, it has not been an easy place to do that, but it's getting better. And so I want to thank people for that. But I think that the more that we can get into working with the doctor's offices, primary care initiatives. We're working with Infinity Healthcare coming up, a really interesting Edmonton company, Alberta Health Services, and so on. I think now is the time. Now is the time for us to really start to do more in these areas, especially around our strengths in machine learning, engineering, and health sciences. And that's kind of my pitch today. So.
Thank you, Randy. Congratulations on the sophisticated progress to date. Wonderful to see how much progress you make.
Yeah.
Questions, please.
Thank you so much. That was really exceptional, and I hope it comes to fruition so we can really enjoy, caregiving for our parents and whatnot. I'm just curious, you have a device, but did I understand we're now moving to mobile apps? Is that correct, or is that a separate?
Well, the story, just really short notes. The story of the company actually started off actually as more of a wearable tech company, sort of prototyping and working with raw signals. So this is the device we're marketing, okay, and it's a phenomenal device. And what's interesting is that the sensors are becoming more and more common. So there's nothing significantly fantastic about these sensors. What's really, really important and how we've migrated our company from a device and prototyping company towards a software company, because the outcomes is really what's most important. The reason we started off in prototyping in these areas is because you could not access that data, period, outside of clinical settings. And so if we're going to talk about these ideas, which are very forward and frankly obvious, then we have to have that data. And frankly, Apple is not making that data easily accessible, and people don't know that. It's not about the device. It's about the focus of that circle around how we're engaging people to actually use that information outside clinical settings. So that's what we're a software company largely.
We are a little short on there's a couple of
Just
questions.
the security behind that and the data.
Yeah, on the security side, so we're coming from the perspective of outside the clinical system going in. But we've taken the stance that we must meet the same standards that is expected within the clinical system. So meeting HIPAA compliance, we're working with Google Cloud Services, and we have to meet all those, there's other kinds of needs that are expected of us. And so, yes, that is part of it. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Daryl, for chairing.